Good morning and welcome to our first cooking episode of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. This is my lovely assistant Rosa. Rosa, you want to wave and say hi? And this morning we're going to be making some, what are we making? Yes you do, you know what we're making. Say it loud.
Pancakes.
Pancakes! So we're making, I told you in the introductory video that on this series we'll mostly be making Middle Eastern food, but we're dipping our toes in the water today with a more traditional American favorite of pancakes, because we have Pancake Tuesday coming up this week. Have you ever heard of Pancake Tuesday, Rosa? Yeah? So Pancake Tuesday, or Shrove Tuesday as it's sometimes called, is the day before Ash Wednesday, which is the first day of the journey of Lent towards Easter. So if you don't know what those things are, here is a little breakdown. Easter, in the Christian tradition, is the most important holiday. It celebrates when Jesus died on a cross and, spoiler alert, rose on the third day. So that is a big celebration. And Lent is the 40 days and 40 nights that lead up to Easter for us to celebrate. And the first day of Lent is called Ash Wednesday. But Lent is traditionally a time of reflection, prayer, fasting, confession, as we prepare for Jesus' death. So before that happens, traditionally people want to use up a lot of their rich ingredients. So fat, butter, eggs, dairy, sugar. And so one recipe that uses all of those things and is delicious is pancakes. So there has become a tradition of making pancakes on the Tuesday before Lent, called Pancake Tuesday, Shrove Tuesday, or in some traditions, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. And often there has been a celebration to go with it. So we're going to make pancakes this morning, so we're all practiced and ready for Shrove Tuesday coming this week. Does that sound good, Rosa?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, you can make pancakes from a mix. It's super easy. Add some mix, add some water. Hey, bada boom, bada bing, you're done. But we like to make our pancakes from scratch, and I like to make them a little healthier, a little more filling than just with plain white flour. So, are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. The first step in making pancakes is milk. Now, if you like dairy milk, then great. My recommendation with dairy milk, I think the very best for pancakes is buttermilk. And the older your buttermilk, the better. But I'm not eating dairy anymore because it upsets Assistant Ember's tummy. And because it's a little better for the environment. So we're going to use, what's this? What is it? Say it loud.
Oatmilk.
Oat milk, okay? This is vanilla flavored, but it doesn't have to be. But we really like oat milk. That's our favorite non-dairy milk here. So we need 1 cup of it. So we're going to pour it in. And so pancakes have been made in various forms all over the world. And they were being made in ancient Rome around the time of Jesus. So this isn't like a totally inaccurate possible. So this one's not going to go in the bowl just yet, actually, Rosa. So what I recommend doing with your milk is you pour a cup, and since this is a wet measuring cup, there's still some space at the top. What I think makes it better is to use curdled milk. So this is vinegar. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of vinegar to our oaty milk to get it to curdle. And I would definitely do this with dairy milk, but I'm going to do it with the oat milk as well. Okay, we intentionally, just a little bit, doesn't take much, intentionally sour our milk to make it curdle, and that gives it a little bit more flavor in our pancakes. So we're going to set that to the side and let it do its curdling thing. And we are going to start mixing together our dry ingredients. This is my griddle. Can you see it? It's like barely in the frame. Plugged into the wall over here. So I'm going to turn it on to high and let it heat up while we are making our mix. Does that sound good, Rosa? Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to start with flour. The recipe calls for 1 cup of flour. If you just want the lightest, fluffiest pancakes possible, just use white flour, all-purpose flour. I like to split mine to make it healthier, like I said. So we're going to use half oat flour. So this is just large flake oats that I put in my blender to grind up into flour. So Rosa, where's that little quarter cup you had earlier? Oh, here it is. So sometimes I do a quarter oats, a quarter whole wheat, and then half white flour. Today we're just going to do half oat flour and half white flour. So are you ready to dump? This is the part you're best at. You going to dump this in? Nice. And we're going to do another one of those, okay? So I thought I was only going to use a quarter cup, so that's what I had pre-measured. But we're going to do another quarter cup of oats. Here we go. Dump it in. Oh, in the bowl, sweetie. In the bowl. Well, just making it for the family. We can recover that. Okay. Boop. In it goes. Is your Sharon close enough? Get your bum up there. Scoot you right in. There we go. Okay, so half a cup of oat flour. And now we're going to do dump that. Half a cup of white flour. I know a lot of people in their baking are really exact on measurements, especially with flour. There, now you can see that bowl a little better. But pancakes, I think, are really forgiving. You can just sort of add a little bit more flour or a little bit more milk, depending on the consistency and texture. It's just flour, Rosa. It's nothing to eat yet. Flour, texture and consistency you're looking for. Okay, what's next, Rosa? We have flour. Ooh, we need some sugar. Okay. In an effort to be healthy, I've tried leaving the sugar out of pancakes because, you know, you douse them in sugar and maple syrup. But a little bit really makes the difference. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon. And then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons. Okay, dump that one too. You're stirring with a spatula, Rosa. I'm not sure that's the right tool. Dump it. Hold it up here. There you go. Here, why don't you stir with the fork? A lot of people like whisk. I'm just not a whisk person. They're so hard to clean. I feel like you lose a lot. I just make pancakes with a fork. So, mix with a fork. All right. Butter, sugar, flour. What do we have next? A teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, Rosa. Which one's the baking powder and which one's the baking soda? Do you know? Which one's the baking powder? This one, you're right. Can you tell she bakes with me? I still get them backwards sometimes. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Can you drop it in? And half a teaspoon of baking soda. I almost did powder again. I told you I'd get them backwards and then I almost did. Ooh, that griddle's starting to heat up. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting close. Hopefully by the time we're ready, it'll be ready. This is my technique with baking soda, the flap. I just like scrape my spoon along the top to get it nice and flat. Okay, in it goes. Okay, and so this little jar here is ground flaxseed. It's not like formally part of the recipe. It doesn't, it's an add-in. It's an add-in, but it makes me feel like I'm feeding my family healthy things. They'll never notice. In it goes, a tablespoon. There we go. So you can also use, if you were looking for these to be vegan pancakes, which were pretty close using the oat milk, you could make a flax egg. Instead, you would have to mix that up at the beginning. A tablespoon of flax and 3 tablespoons of water, and then let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you could use that as an alternative to egg. I think it would be a little less fluffy, but it would get the job done. So, salt. That's our last thing. Also, in an effort to be healthy, I've left salt out of a lot of things in my life, and I'm coming back on that. I think I like the flavor it adds, and especially where we want things to be fluffy.
This one?
Oh, you're right. But Rosa, is that wet or is that dry?
That's dry.
Is it dry?
Yeah.
No, that's wet. So we're gonna add the wet things next. Do you want to add the salt, or do you want me to? Excellent. Okay, so that is all of our dry ingredients. So we're gonna mix that around with a fork. Do you want to mix it with the fork, Rosa?
Yeah.
So this recipe doesn't make a ton, but because they're a little heavier with the oat flour, they are pretty filling. For breakfast, it leaves us with a little bit of leftover as a family usually, like 1 or 2 pancakes. But then if we're having it for supper, then we'll maybe have a side or something with it. Oh, bless you. Don't sneeze in the batter. It'll be enough. But you could double it if you have a bigger family. You could double it if you wanted leftovers. But the idea of Shrove Tuesday is to use up these ingredients. So maybe if you're really true to the spirit of Lent and Shrove Tuesday, you don't want any leftovers at all. I had a roommate actually when I was first about to be married to Dan. We had roommates named Dimitri and Evgenia, and they were wonderful people, and from Russia, and from the Russian Orthodox tradition, and they still celebrate Lent with fasting, and their fasting includes a fully vegan diet for the weeks leading up to Easter, and so it was fun to watch them learn and explore and discover different foods during their Lenten journey. Okay, we're going to start adding wet ingredients. Here is a teaspoon of vanilla. In it goes. And an egg. Are you ready? Oh, not in your mouth, please. We're not ready for that. We're going to cook it first, okay? Okay, can we crack the egg together? Yeah, pull. Got it.
Could you wipe my hand?
I can wipe your hand. Okay, in she goes. Yeah, now you're ready for the fork, Rosa. No, we're not eating the batter. It's just flour right now, Rosa. You gotta mix it. Can you mix it for me? With the fork. Mix it with the fork. This is just to scrape it afterwards. Okay. And so now our milk, I'm sure you can't see it, and I don't want to tip it for the video, is all curdled. And we're just gonna pour it in. So okay, we're back. So we've dumped in our milk and we're stirring. I think the secret to good pancakes, like good muffins, is to not over stir. If you stir it until it's perfectly smooth, beautiful batter. It'll look really nice in your bowl, but it won't fluff up much on your griddle. So we've stirred here until just combined, good and lumpy. You can also add a little bit of fat in there, margarine, or Rosa. We're gonna wait until it's cooked, please.
I need this.
That's your last one. Or oil. I don't think I'm gonna bother today for the sake of time. My griddle here doesn't need to be oiled, so I just am gonna use my 1/4 cup that's already dirty to ladle my pancakes over, because that's about the right size. So here we go. First pancake. That batter is a little runnier than I usually make it, to be honest, so you could maybe add some more flour, or we can just let it do its thing. Trust the process. Okay, so we've let our pancakes cook for a bit, and now we're ready to flip them. So not flipping too soon is part of the key to a fluffy pancake. So we left it until it's bubbling on one side, and then with our nice big spatula, we give it a flip. Oh yeah. Those are maybe a little more done than perfect, but that's okay. They're still pretty golden. So we're gonna put some on the other side. And like I was saying, don't overfill your griddle, because then it's really hard to flip them. I've made that mistake in the name of trying to have all the pancakes done at the same time. Anyhow, then of course, for toppings, what do you like on your pancakes? Do you like maple syrup? Yeah, living in Elmira, it's a perfect place for some maple syrup. Do you like fruit on your pancakes? Yeah, berries and bananas. Yeah, the possibilities are endless for delicious toppings for pancakes. So we'll leave those choices up to you. And we'll say thank you for joining us today. And are we ready to say goodbye, Rosa? Bye. We'll see you and your pancakes on our Zoom call on Tuesday night, and we can enjoy our pancakes together live. Looking forward to it. Bye.